Eric Keller here, Enthusiast Auto Group. Today we're in EAG Super Secret Warehouse number 1, and we're going to go over the first of our 3 EAG estate wagons. And it's going to be the 2003 BMW 540i M Sport Dinan Stage 3 Supercharged Touring. That is a heck of a title because it frankly is a heck of a car. It's a whole lot of fun to drive. It offers quite a lot of practicality and utility, so it's easy to upsell to the other decision maker in the household. It's quite rare being a final model year car in a M Sport package, which was a very low numbers production option code. And then having the entire Dinan catalog at the Stage 3 level, having just one previous owner when EAG acquired the car, it's got a whole lot going for it, and I'm looking forward to sharing all of that with you while we take a drive and take a lap going around the car, looking at each of the unique technical things and what is part of that S3 package and the M Sport package, as well as highlighting what EAG has done during our Rejuvenation Program to ensure turnkey, trouble-free ownership experiences for the past enthusiasts and for the future enthusiasts as well. So I do hope everyone is staying safe out there. I certainly hope you're enjoying the channel. I do hope you hit the subscribe button and turn your notifications on if you've not already. We've got a lot of cool cars to obviously continue to share with you. An Alpina, another 30 Touring, a whole lot of cars here in the collection as well as in the other buildings and warehouses, and new stuff's coming in all the time. Our website frankly isn't up to date as often as it should be. You're probably likely to see it on YouTube before it even hits the website, which we've got a really big special E39 to market really soon. Nobody knows about it yet. It's the one, so be sure to stay tuned for that as well. So without further ado, let's go jump in this Dinan Stage 3 540 M Sport Supercharged Wagon and have some fun. Oh, this is going to be sweet. I love that car. I love it a lot. Yep, let's do it. So as we're driving this Dinan Stage 3 Supercharged 540 M Sport Wagon, we are actually just passing EAG's first retail location here on our left. Good old Madisonville, the two-bay garage where kind of it all started, commercially speaking. And the Dinan upgrades did come till later relative to the relationship with EAG and Dinan, that is. And I can tell you that they make for a huge difference in most applications, well, all applications, but certainly on the more analog cars where Dinan or Steve was at the helm driving that Dinan race car, literally and figuratively from an engineering standpoint. You know, his products for the 80s, 90s, and 2000s were just the best of the industry, and that certainly bodes well to the performance of this E39 as we're about to see here on some twisties and some uphill. So let's do that. Really hard to beat. She boogies, and she handles her weight pretty well. It's a heavy car. It's a wagon. It's a big wagon, relatively speaking, but it is quite light on its feet for what it is, and it's very E39 like. You know what's going on, and it gives you a good sense of feedback. It's not quite an M5, but it's about as close as we will have in the United States as a North American spec car legally brought here. Of course, there was not an E39 M5 wagon built, which there's no shortage of people quite sad about that, yours truly included. However, it's pretty close in terms of straight line speed as an M5 E39 stock, and it certainly can haul a bit more gear and do so with a bit more traffic ease with the Steptronic transmission as opposed to the 6-speed manual. And of course, yes, the purists, we all love the 6-speed manuals, and you know, save the manuals. They'll never go out of style, I'm sure, with the enthusiasts. However, if you're in traffic a lot and if there's always a lot of things going on, if you're using the car, especially in a more daily capacity, the automatic certainly it does have some benefits. Of course, that always can be changed down the road, but this car's, I think a dish best served stock relative to its build sheet and its history with the original owner, going through with the Dinan appointments. And so it definitely will be a all-around great performer, yet still can serve a lot of the utility and throw the dog net up in the back, or throw the ski rack on the roof, or the bikes, and be a great weekend car for weekend trips. Go to Tahoe. I've never done that before. It sounds fun, but it'd be a great car for doing those type of trips and camping and whatnot, and be able to do it a little bit of German performance style. The history of this car begins when the original owner walks into a BMW dealership in South Florida and sees, there's a wagon available as far as an order slot goes, and of course checks all the boxes that are available, including the M Sport package. This original owner happens to be quite the wagon enthusiast, and one that we know exceptionally well, having sold him our very first E39 M5 Touring way back in 2009. And he certainly does not hold back in buying quality, but also decking out his cars to the gilt. And he loved this car, had it detailed every 2 years, or twice a year, excuse me, and just it never wanted for anything. And all the service history back to day one that's in the trunk certainly exemplifies that. And the car was just getting less and less use as the car was put more into a collection status than daily use as it had been originally. And so eventually our phone rang, and the opportunity came forth to buy the car. And we brought it up, we went through the car, we did all of the common E39 related 540 mechanical updates with the intake, the valley pan gaskets, the cooling system. Big ticket. I think it was north of $12,000 of round one rejuvenation when the car had 37,000 miles. We then sold the car back to a client in Florida, another EAG repeat client, and he had the car for about a year and a half, had his fun with the car, jumped into the E39s thinking he wanted an M5. This came up, he bought this instead, had fun, and then of course rang us up and gave us another opportunity to buy the car back, and we did, and actually traded him an E39 M5. So that worked out well, and the car then goes through the program again, and the car then was checked out by another repeat client in Louisville, a real good guy, good friend, also an EAG E39 M5 repeat owner, and he saw the car and had just had some kids. As you can tell here in the back, I've got my 2 kid seats in there. It does them well. I've had my kids in the car, and they certainly enjoy it, and so did his. I had the car for another, I think it was about 2 years or so, added another couple thousand miles, and we brought the car back in. And actually it came up for service, and while it was here at the shop for service, another client saw it, I think in a video or maybe in passing, and he asked if I would ask if it was for sale, and I asked the client, and he said maybe he would sell it, and so we did. We ended up working out another deal, and then the car goes to Boston. He had the car for another 5,000, 6,000 miles. We added some more personalization things to the car at each of those steps, which I'll come back to when we do our walk around video, like this awesome steering wheel. And the car now is here for its 1, 2, 3. This will be the 4th time that we're selling this car. It's the 4th time it's going through EAG's workshop and the Rejuvenation Program, and anything that the car is going to need, we're going to be doing it at that time. And that way we can deliver the car with as much confidence as it was delivered when it was new back in Florida. And so it certainly is a great example to be able to bring to market again, and knowing everything on the car back to new. It's, you know, not enough of these survive today. It was, you know, a pretty highly used platform, being a wagon. It offered a lot of function and utility, and so most of them have a lot of miles on them, and that's okay, but it certainly does take a lot of the life out of the car, and not leave a lot of the cosmetic qualities that, you know, the hardcore BMW aficionado that would want. I mean, granted, we can always repaint stuff and make them better and make them new again, but low mileage certainly is, always the best way to mitigate your risk if you're really picky about quality. Let's take a walk around the car, check out the Dinan bits, as well as go through a bit of a cosmetic assessment. We're now inside EAG's workshop number 2 with the 2003 540 M Sport Dinan Stage 3 Supercharged Touring. And we'll take a closer look at the M Sport goodies first. The M5 front bumper with the T-bar, which does allow air to pass through towards the brakes, which was a retrofit kit available from Dinan for the M5 application as well. The M Sports came with a set of staggered 17-inch wheels, as well as the 18-inch wheels on the sedans. The Tourings, I think, all had the 17s. This, of course, does have the genuine M5 staggered wheels front and rear with a relatively recent set of Michelins. We have the M5 steering wheel, which would be full solid leather under normal stock conditions. We have updated this with an EAG perforated steering wheel. We've also updated the navigation, as you can see. The car is sitting right at 50,800 miles. Other M Sport accoutrements will include the the sport seats, as well as M sills in all of the doors. The rear bumper will also be M5-esque with a little notch there at the top for the through loading system. And there we will see the Dinan exhaust, as well as the Dinan badge. Once you hit your 10-point level, the Dinan badge becomes available to you back then. Condition-wise, I think the photos as well as the videos certainly speak clearly to that, especially in the interior. The exterior, I'll have to apologize, as I have been driving the car as, and it's gotten a little dirty with the kids and whatnot, but it certainly will get a full detail, another paint cleanup, and probably some more ceramic before the car leaves. It's had, I don't know how many coats of ceramic over the years, quite a few. And here we have the big mama jama. The cold air intake system actually pulls from behind the fog light there. That feeds through a high flow throttle body, as well as a mass airflow, which is going to lead into the bigger throttle body. And it does have a larger intake manifold on it as well. All of the accoutrements are stamped with their California CARB compliance certificates and codes. It does have the tower brace, as well as the shocks and the springs and the sway bars, and it also has a 345 differential installed as well, per the records. And all of the Dinan stuff is documented in the book. The car has no shortage of service records that basically go back to the day it was, I guess, thought up and ordered. We have a full binder of everything, and it starts out right here with their thoughts, their order production number, as well as the original MSRP of $62,560. Sport package, rear side airbags, which was a 2003 available option, as we see at $385. The rear sunshades, the navigation, and the premium package as well. Clean history report and all kinds of records, including all of EAG's work, which totals well over 20 grand of internal rejuvenation. All of that was done, included in the selling price of the car throughout its pit stops at EAG. There on the bottom of the hatch, we'll have a fold-out toolkit. And for those previous wagon owners, you remember the rear window also is open from the outside separately. That roller blind will actually slide in at behind the knees of the passenger in the rear seat, and actually that net will then go all the way up to the headliner if you wanted to bring your dog along for the ride and give him the whole back space. A lot of cool, just very German-esque details like that on the E39 platform, and certainly the guys that have had E39s certainly miss them and come back for them. Most of the guys that we've sold this car to have been multiple E39 owners of different variants in the past, and in wagon form in the North American market, I do think that this is about the ultimate form of said package. It doesn't get really any better than that. And in the workshop today, it's kind of interesting because we have no shortage of forced induction cars today. Johnny's working on a client Rejuve that is a Dinan Stage 3 supercharged car, also an original owner car from California. And believe it or not, one of the reasons the car was shipped here is it was victim to an earthquake, hence the scratches on the door and a couple other blemishes along the car. So we will be going and getting the full EAG body shop treatment as well. Very cool car that has certainly done its previous owner real well with, I think, 125,000 miles. So it's time to give that car another big breath of fresh air and bring her back to her former glory. And then going a different direction, we have a active AutoWork, fully done, full built E46 M3 that has, I mean, more stuff on it than I think we've seen in a very long time. A client in California asked us to vet the car and chase the car down, get it bought, and then now go through it and prepare it for a life on the racetrack. It's been on the track a bit, obviously, and certainly is going to serve him well, and it doesn't appear to need all that much. It's been really, really well cared for over the years, and is a SMG transmission, which as a dedicated track car certainly is going to just bang through the gears. I cannot wait to take this car out and give it a good try, and make sure that everything obviously is running and driving and going to be reliable for its next life. And this is a great client that we've built a great relationship with, and it's been a pleasure working with him over the years. We have a new client with an E46 M3. This is an 06. Fresh Rejuve. It's not yet started and still in the planning stages. The car's going to go through, it's I think 64,000 miles and change. Real nice solid car that has come from a good home, and it's certainly going to benefit from everything EAG has to offer. We have a Z8 that's just finishing up a fully modernized audio install per the customer request, and it's going to pretty much have new everything in there. I'm sure Sean will probably have all this put back together before the end of the day today, right, Sean?
Hope so. Got everything wrong.
So it's going to be a nice modern touch so that he can use and drive the car and be safe doing so. We've got a Henna E30 M3 that's just finishing its final rounds of quality control, going through the post-sale inspection process, sending down to a good multiple repeat client and a good friend down in Florida. Can't wait to get him some seat time in that and get him in an E39 M5. And yes, you're probably going to buy one of those too soon, buddy. Can't wait to help you with that. And then we have a 1999 Z3M Coupe that's a repeat visitor. We've owned this car now three times, I think, and is going to a new client. Looking forward to getting that to him. It's going to be a very well-loved car going to Illinois, first-time EAG client. So certainly excited to have his feedback and impressions. That's the best part about this, is getting those emails and phone calls once the cars arrive, and just hearing the excitement and as well as the joy that their car arrived safe and sound, but also, you know, not only met but exceeded their expectations. That's what we strive for with every one of these EAG cars, and certainly why we take our time to make sure that every last detail is right, and that's part of the process. So thanks for tuning in. This 540M Sport Dinan Stage 3 Supercharged Touring is available, and looking forward to meeting the next enthusiast owner. Subscribe for more. See ya.